World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Good afternoon. This is Tony Rogers, your host for Urbanology, the Art of War. And many of you know my birth name is William Anthony Rogers, and that's kind of a play on words. I also am a student of Sun Tzu's strategic classic, The Art of War. So combine those things together. And urbanology is really basically the base of that strategic management concept comes from Sun Tzu's The Art of War. So that's kind of how the title came about. I have a very interesting show today. I have a person who is no stranger to the Urbanology show, whether it's on the WACR radio or the Soul City Live. Dr. Princess Jenkins Green is going to talk about an exciting program that is coming up, and there's another guest who will give us information about some of the possible finances. Everyone is kind of hurting, and Kenya Abu who's the president of the Women's Chamber of Commerce, which surprisingly enough, because she does so much work, a lot of people are not aware of it, but that will change, obviously. And we are glad to be able to give a platform for her and let her talk about some of the things that are happening. So please welcome Dr. Princess Jenkins Green. Congratulations, Dr. Green. Dr. Jenkins.
Thank you, Tony. I am always excited to be on Urbanology with you, and we are excited to talk about our Who's the Boss Women's Business program that's coming up, and so incredibly excited to have Kenya Abreu from the New York Women's Chamber, joining us today. So we have a lot of information to share with your guests that are listening in, and we're ready to talk about it when you are. Just let us know when you want to go.
You have the floor, my dear. You know, you do what you do best. Take the lead.
Well, Tony Rogers, thank you for having us again. I want to first share with you, Tony, the fact that we have the upcoming Who's the Boss Women's Business Conference. The conference has been held in Harlem at the State Office Building for over 23 years. Last year was the first year due to COVID that we were unable to have the annual conference. And each year we have 200 to 300 women business owners come in for a day around being women business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, etc. And this year we decided to bring it back, even though we still have to do it virtually. As you know, Tony, many corporations have not let in-person come back. But we weren't going to let that stop us this year, and we're going to be doing the 23rd annual Who's the Boss Business Conference virtual. And our theme this year is called Level Up. And why is it called Level Up? Because no matter what happened and the fact that we've all coming back from COVID, we still have to think about taking our businesses to the next level. And as you know, Tony, we have revamped Women in the Black. I have a new board membership. We have 15 dynamic women. My new vice president, Pat Stevenson from the Harlem News, Lil Nichols, who's our financial advisor, and 15 other advisory board members have all come together to put together the Who's the Boss Women's Business Conference. And I'm so excited to talk about it, but I want to tell people first what they can expect. We're going to start at 9 o'clock. We're going to end at 2. We're doing only a half day because it is virtual. And we're going to open up with none other than Susan Johnson. And Tony, as you know, she worked with President Obama on his campaign, but she, under his administration, I should say, she's going to open with the opening prayer. Then we have some morning inspiration. Then I'm going to come in and open. And the first thing we're going to do for our level one level up workshops is I've been talking to women business owners, Tony, and I wanted to create some shortcuts for them. So I've been in business 38 years. You've been in business a very long time. We know some things that new entrepreneurs may not know, right? So
I would imagine.
Huh?
I said I would imagine, but you have to understand. You know more than I. I was in the academic world, and academics don't always know too much about business.
I'm sure. I'm sure that when you first started your business, you would have liked to have known some shortcuts, right?
Exactly, which is the point,
Right.
Which is the point.
So our first workshop is around life hacks, shortcuts for success in business. And I have Sophia Davis from Fashion Avenue News talking about life hacks that can help your business grow quickly. And I have Harriet Rosebud, who has grown her business online through social media. And I know that people want to know all about some shortcuts
now.
they can take, right? Especially now. To get them there. After that workshop, we're going to go into networking, where our good friend Pat Stevenson is going to host the networking portion and give some of the business women online an opportunity to introduce themselves to the other business women. Then we're going to come back out. We're going to go into our second level up segment, where we're going to talk about being an unapologetic entrepreneur. Now, what does that mean, Tony? What do you think that means, to be an unapologetic entrepreneur?
Not afraid to make money.
So many times people say, well, why don't you just get a job? Why are you chasing this pipe dream or this idea? And if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you really have to be unapologetic about it. You have to be focused. You have to be determined. So we're talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about pivoting for profits. So not only pivoting your business, but how to make it more profitable. And the person working on helping us to make that happen is we have 2 financial leaders, and we also have Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant, who is a public speaker and a businesswoman of her own. So we're going to help you pivot for profits. Then we're going back into our networking session, and we have a wonderful keynote. I'm sure you visited her business here in Harlem. It's called Lolo's Seafood Shack on 116th Street. It's a family-run business. Her and her husband have ran this business and expanded this business. She has a great story to tell about how she hung in there and became successful, and the different things that she had to do. Many of things that what we each had to do. Maybe spend the credit line on your credit cards to
The
stay open.
whole
You know
credit
about
line.
that.
Card.
Using your personal piggy bank to keep the business open. So, she's gone through a couple of things and made it on the other side. We're also going to talk about the COVID comeback. So we have some success stories. During COVID, we had some people that kind of pivoted, found a new way to do business, found a new destination. Some left their businesses altogether, but have found success working at jobs or consulting. We're talking about that. And I've saved the absolute best for last, Tony. We're going to be talking about WMBEs and the New York State grant that has just come out. So businesses with the New York State grant can give from $10,000 to up to $50,000. And talking to us about that today, I brought somebody special with me. I'm not here talking about by myself. I brought somebody special who can talk to it. And joining us today is going to be Kenya Abru from the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce. She's going to come on. She's going to introduce herself, and we're going to learn more about that program that can get grants into the hands of small businesses.
Grant is a very important word.
Yes. The state is giving away money to help you stay in business. And to join us to talk about that is Miss Kenya Abru.
Hi, Princess. Hi, Tony. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, Kenya. Kenya has a long history of doing a lot, not only for women.
That's correct. We not only do for women. I always say, yes, we are a women's chamber of commerce, but we really function as a women and minority chamber of commerce. We not only help women, but we also help our minority-owned businesses. And we are located here in Harlem, which is the place where I grew up. And I said, if I ever started something, I would love to, do it here in where I grew up, which is my home. So that's why I'm here. We've been here almost 20 years here in Harlem and have served my people.
Well, again, and Princess, I'm sorry. Please give the date of the conference. We talked about how great it is, but I don't remember you giving the date. We're going to circle back to that, but
we'll circle back to the date right now. So the date is this Saturday. This is a timely message. Yes. The date is Saturday, June 26th. And for anyone who would like to register, go to womenintheblack.org and just click the register today button. It is absolutely free to register for the Who's the Boss Women in the Black Level Up Conference, which is this Saturday from 9 until 2. Even if you can only jump on for a few hours and got to jump off, we encourage you to register because your registration will include a complimentary membership to Women in the Black. Go to womenintheblack.org to register.
And I said that because when Kenya gives us information about this grant, I know everybody is going to want to find out more.
Yes. And Princess said the state is giving out money. And it's very rare that you hear that. So so you got to take advantage of that. And it's not just, a little bit of money. It's $800 million that the state is giving out in grants to entrepreneurs, small businesses. So the money, it's going to be rolled out very quickly. So we need our women, and we need especially our minority women, our women of color, to apply because they are giving priority also to women and minority business owners. So it is important that we start applying immediately. And because the money, it's $800 million. But when you think about, the city and the entire state of New York, it's, it's not a lot when you look at the amount of businesses that we have.
Right.
So we have to make sure that our people get a piece of that pie and that we get a big piece, not just a little bit, but a big piece of that pie. So women, you need to come on Saturday. You need to be at this conference. We're going to be doing a seminar talking about what are the requirements, what do you need to have to apply. It's not a difficult application. And the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce is going to be assisting you in applying. And we want to do it fast. We want to do it quickly so you can be one of the first ones to submit that application. but you have to be, at this conference if you want to, just get the from step one to, the all the steps that you need to take to fill out the application, the documentation you need. But the money is real. This is real, and it's money that you don't have to give back, which is a great thing. Yeah, it's a great thing when they tell you, it's money that you can get and you don't have to pay it back.
Now, Kenya, where would you get applications? Are they going to be online, or are they going to be
They're online,
hard
exactly.
copy?
Yeah, they're online. The application is online. Everything is online. You know how it is today. So it is a platform. The state, which is the Empire State Development Corporation, is the agency that had been trusted with the $8 million, and they have partnered up with an entity called Industry. And they are the entity that is going to administer this grant. So they have created a platform, and you have to apply through the platform. And so we're inviting people to apply, but it's very important that they, as I said before, that they come to the conference, because
they can know what to do.
Yes, talk about, step by step, and ask a question, which is very important. So, we don't want people to just go ahead and submit applications without first attending the seminars, because they might have questions, and we will be there to answer those questions. And sometimes there's little things here and there that they think, oh, I might not be able to apply, and that might not be the case. So that's why it's important for them to attend the conference and attend the seminar, so that way we can clarify any doubts that they might have and answer any questions that they might have.
Well, that sounds like a winner.
It is. Are you kidding me? Money that you don't have to pay back?
That's great.
That is a winner.
And plus someone to help you, the guide you're doing it so that you don't mess up.
Exactly.
Let me also add that for those who want to attend that seminar specifically, let's say they can't make the whole day, but you want to plan to be in that seminar, that's going to be from like 1 until 2 o'clock. You want to be on the conference and register for the conference. And stay on at least till the end. And if you got to jump off, jump back on in that last hour, because that's when Kenya's staff will be there walking you through the requirements. It's a lot of money. It starts at $10,000 and goes up to $50,000. Kenya, correct me if I'm wrong.
It's from 5 to 50.
From 5 to 50. 5 to 50. Which is a lot of money. It's the first time ever that I know of a grant situation coming through the state that can help you with your business. A lot of people will be using this money to pay back rent. So the landlords are super happy that this is coming through. You can use it for any number of other expenses. So it's great. And there's no real ties to what you can't do with this money. They want it in your hands and out into the economy to help move your business forward.
Yes, and one of the things that I like a lot about this particular grant is that as different from the PPP, is that you don't have to use the money for employees if you don't have employees. Okay, they give you a whole list of expenses that you can use the money for. So they this grant, it's really mainly targeting the businesses that either got very small amounts from the PPP or did not get the PPP at all.
Right, who may not have qualified based on also there's some credit issues and a number of other things that a lot of small businesses, and some of them are, maybe only have themselves. They might not have the staff.
Exactly. And that doesn't mean that they didn't have expenses, because they have a legitimate business. So that's why this is so special, because you can apply even if you don't have employees.
Well, that sounds good. And womenintheblack.org. You can
go to womenintheblack.org. Now, let me also say, for those of you who are listening at home and thinking you want to go ahead and apply for the grant, you think that you have the wherewithal, there is a drop-down bar that asks you, where did you hear about this grant? You will click on the one that says the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
Because we have to make sure that we get credit for informing you about the grant.
Right.
So again, if you go on and apply, if you don't want to wait for the seminar, if you feel that you can go ahead and do it, click on the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce for where you heard about the grant.
Yes, and you can also click because it also asks you for TA assistance. Also click on the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, because what that does is then allow us to talk to the state on your behalf, or talk to Lendistry on your behalf, and also advocate for your business if there is an issue anywhere. So it's important that you also click on the field that says that asks you for TA assistance, that you click on the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce.
And that is extremely important because applications can be on someone's desk, or in someone's computer. Yes. And unless they know that there is something that will allow for them to look for a particular application, you might get it, but it may be a while. So having that type of contact or relationship is extremely important. As they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
That's right. Kenya, for someone who's at home, who has a business that's struggling, and they're saying, I want to apply for this grant, I need it. Have they talked to you about the turnaround time for getting the money in the hands of small business owners?
Yes, they're going to start, and that's why we want people to, submit the application as soon as possible, because they are going to start getting in touch with people starting on the 28th, June 28th. They're going to start talking to people. And I have the feeling they haven't said that yet, Princess, because this is a new grant, and they were also in the stages of trying to kind of figure out certain things. Right. But I have the feeling that they're probably going to give out a certain amount first, because that's usually, what happens when they come in, and then they do
the waters.
Yes. And then they do another round and things like that. But that's why I encourage people to start, applying as soon as possible.
Now, is June 28th the actual time to submit your application, or when is the time? What's the time frame?
No, the time they already started accepting applications. They have not given us a deadline yet.
Right.
The 28th is when they're going to start. When you're going to start hearing from them.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's soon.
That's what it is. So that's why I said to people, let's start submitting those applications as soon as possible, because we want to make sure that, especially our people, that they get that funding. Because as I said before, it's 800 million, but that could also go very fast.
And it's important to get the word out. And Kenya, you should, if you can, look at your schedule. I do a pre-recording on Mondays for the radio version of this program, which is on WHCR. And I would like to have you on. I'll reach your office to schedule, see what your schedule is. We have some flexible pre-recording times so that, again, this is extremely important. A lot of people are suffering, but I think that the worst thing is to have opportunities and not know about them.
Yes.
Why, Soul City, Harlem Community News, WHCR are so crucial for us, because it's our obligation to do what we're doing now. If we don't do it for ourselves, how can we really get mad if someone else outside of ourselves don't do it, but do it with their own? So this is extremely important. And Princess, what you've been doing for so many years is just amazing, because you got a lot of stuff. I mean, you both do. I mean, it would seem that you didn't have anything else to do other than
planning, huh?
what you're doing. But I will definitely let my wife know, because
Please.
I'm sure she can qualify. And between $10,000 and $50,000 of grant money for businesses that you don't have to pay back is worth at least having your application in. And I don't think that anyone that can't use that. Can you give us a little more information about the Women's Chamber of Commerce and some of the other activities that you guys are doing?
Yes, of course. So, um, we are, a New York, a Women's Chamber of Commerce, as I said before, but our services are open to both women and men, especially if you are a minority-owned business. And one of the things that we do, Tony, is that we are a partner of the City of New York and also the state when it comes to helping women and minority-owned businesses become certified, city certified, and state certified as a women or minority-owned company, and also help them build their capacity so they can go after the contracts that are available through city and state agencies. As you know, the city buys billions of dollars in products and services, and so does the state. And we are often encouraging, we constantly encouraging our women and minority business owners to get certified so they can go after these billions of dollars of contracting opportunities that the city and state has. And not many of our people are really taking advantage of these opportunities. So we at the New York Women's Chamber are here to help our women and minority business owners not only become certified with city, but also with the state, and then identify those contracting opportunities either with the city and state agencies or the companies that are doing business with city and state agency for contracting opportunities. And I often say, if I wasn't the president of the New York Women's Chamber, I would probably have a business in going out there after those contracts myself. So please, we encourage all, women, and especially again, women of color and other minority entrepreneurs to become certified not only with the city, but with the state of New York.
I have a question about a new business opportunity for those who live in urban communities based on the legislation that was been passed for the legalization of cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the, I suppose, issues or fears that has been echoed across the country when this has happened is almost like, in many cases, the MWBE scenario. As
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you look at the MWBE track record, people of color, especially black and brown people, have for some reason always been at the tail end of it. But as far as this issue of cannabis, we saw what happens with the numbers market, because at one point that was a major economy in the community, the numbers. But then the state took it over, and you very seldom see a black and brown store with the lotto machine. And will there be any effort to lobby or to create ways to make sure that the job opportunities and the training for this new market are made available for those who have suffered, those communities that have suffered from the women's commerce's position?
Yes, of course, and we're working. There's a group of us also working on that, because that was one of the, that was one of the things. That was one of the issues, and just making sure that if this legislation was going to pass, that there was provisions in there for minority-owned businesses. And there is, because that was one of the things that we heavily discussed, that we heavily advocated for. What we have to do is follow up. What we have to do is constantly follow up, because one of the things that I learned, Tony, is that sometimes legislations are passed, but if we're not watchdogs, if we're not constantly going back and saying, hey, what's going on, encouraging our people to apply and bringing them to the table, and taking their hands and bringing them to the table, and say, you know what, here is this entrepreneur, and here's this other entrepreneur who want to be a part of this, and they're ready to be a part of this, and we need you to include them, because that's what it's about. We talk a big game, about diversity, inclusion, and equity, and I often say that we have to be careful not just to build a database of diverse entrepreneurs without inclusion and without the equity. So that's something that, of course, is at the forefront of the New York Women's Chamber advocacy.
which is one of the reasons why programs like Women in the Black and in your program are very important, because there are people who become certified and they figure, now that I'm certified, things are just going to happen. But unless you're members of, whether it was the Women's Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce, or the Harlem Business Alliance, or some organization that can become an advocate for you, if you're not getting any business, to go to them, to ask them to reach out, you can't do it alone. You have to be a part of an organized program that have, based on the nature of the program, these contacts and relationships that
Yeah,
can ask those questions on your behalf.
yeah. You said a key word there: relationship, 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 relationship. That's, that's very important, very valuable. Very valuable. So,
Now, how can a person join the Women's Chamber of Commerce? What's the website? What's the process?
well, they can. We have a membership, not expensive, very affordable, and they can go to our website at nywcc.org. That's our website, nywcc.org, or they can also call us at our office at 212-491-9640, and we're happy to have them be a member. And one of the things that we do is really connect them with agencies, connect them with companies that are doing business with city and state. And one of the things that a lot of people don't know, Tony, is that if you're certified with the state, not the city, but if you're certified with the state, the city, we're still working on that. But with the state, which is very, very important, it's not only the state agencies that you can apply for contracts with, and those companies that are doing business with the state, but also nonprofits. There are a lot of nonprofits that get funding from the state, and the state law, Article 15.8, also includes nonprofits. So they also have MWB utilization goals. And a lot of people don't know that. So you can go to nonprofits and find out if they are getting funding from the state, and offer your services or products to them, and see if they have opportunities. And sometimes not even the nonprofits know that if they're subcontracting, that they should be giving priority to those companies, women and minority firms that are certified with the state.
Mhm. And how closely do you work with programs like Columbia has a CU Grow program, and there are a number of other programs that are
Yes, so I am actually part of their advisory board.
hmm
So what we do is we're constantly recommending businesses to them. We work closely with Tanya Pope
hmm
at Columbia University, and they also send to us those companies that need to be certified, but we also send to them those companies that are looking for opportunities as well, and recommend them, constantly. We do an event with them that, of course, we couldn't do during the pandemic, but we are in the planning stages of it, which is we do an event doing business with Columbia University, and where they invite all of their buyers, all of the
hmm
purchasing
hmm
departments, and which is a great event because it not only gives people an opportunity to meet with the companies or the departments at Columbia that buy construction and construction services, but those that also buy products and services throughout not just Columbia University, but also the Uptown campus and the
that,
building. Mhm.
Tony,
that sounds good.
I just want to jump in here, right? Because you guys have been talking such good talk. No, I think it's great. I'm just saying I want to jump in because I just want to piggyback on a couple of things. I got my certification through the Harlem Business Alliance, but when I needed my help with my one pager, I went to the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, where I'm a member. and they helped me to develop that into a strong one pager, which is the promotion that you use to go after contracts. And I'm happy to report that after 4 years of being a WMBE, I now have my first contract.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
I don't want people to think that it doesn't work. It just takes a very long time.
It does.
Right? It seems like a very long time for it to work. So we are now contracted with Henry J. Carter. And they called me not really knowing it was the WMBE, but I said to them, if you hire me, you're going to get WMBE credit. And the guy who called me had no idea what I was talking about. I said, talk to the people in that department. They'll let you know how important that is. So they were on it, right? They're like, oh, you have your certificate. Can you send it to us? We definitely want you under the WMBE. I was like, of course you do. Everybody wants WMBE credit.
Yeah.
So it absolutely does work. And you can get that going, you guys. Anybody who's listening, please call the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce. They have excellent assistance in getting you certified. And then the follow-up is tremendous. And for anybody who knows me, you know that I'll call for help in a heartbeat. And if you call the New York Women's Chamber for help, either Kenya's going to respond or Lawrence Niles is going to get on it for you, or somebody else in their department is going to follow up. So I just want because sometimes people are talking, but you don't hear if it's working.
Now, Kenya, a question that I'm sure that I'm getting texts is, can men join the Women's Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, you may. As long as I always said, as long as you treat our women with love and respect, yes. Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, because we, as I said before, we are a partner of the City of New York with our MWB program, but also because at the end of the day, we need to do business with each other.
Sure.
It's all about doing business with each other. So, you want to be in a room where you can do business, not just with women, but also with men.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why we not only, have members that are women entrepreneurs, but also men as well. And if you have money, if you do even better, if you have contracts, even better.
I can imagine. And Princess, you at one point were giving out awards to different individuals doing your program. Are you doing that this year?
So each year, for I say the past 7 to 10 years, we selected women business owners who had been leaders in the community and gave an award in our breakfast, which was within the conference each year. So last year was the first year that we had not done it. We are going virtual this year and will not be doing it. So as soon as we're back in person, which will probably be next year, we'll be back to giving those awards, because it's so important that we celebrate women while they're in the throes of doing their work. So we don't always celebrate women who have excelled beyond. We're looking for women who are like right dead in the middle of it, and you think that nobody's looking, and bam, that's when Women in the Black wants to celebrate you. And Tony, just to speak quickly on the cannabis, because that is something we are also looking at in Women in the Black, knowing that it is going to revolutionize the weed business within our community. We did send a letter out to the Cuomo, and basically they said to us that they're waiting on the cannabis committee to be started. And then once that's started, you'll have a better opportunity. But we got to keep advocating and at least letting them know we're alive and that we're interested, and we will not be passed over for this opportunity.
I think that the other part of that is the education, because when we talk about cannabis, I mean, people think about the recreational use, but that's only a very small component. If you look at the other states, there's so many
products,
spin-offs, whether it's, clothing, whether especially in health, that's my major focus of it. But there's so many different spin-offs. It's as one of I think it was one of the conferences speakers said, that's like magic dust. Once it becomes illegal, you can sprinkle it on anything, which is true.
I just saw some edibles that really look like what they were. What is that?
a consultant. You can do marketing. You can do.
Sure.
It's an
Yeah.
industry. They're calling
It's
it
gonna
the
be an
green
industry.
rush.
It is an industry
If you
itself.
look at the soulcity.me site, there are two possible programs that are being looked upon just as it relates to education and understanding the different components of it. It's just not, you know, it's legal to smoke a joint. No. The reason why the whole issue became illegal is because of the economic opportunities. At
That's
one
what it
point, it
is.
was
Sure.
the paper and the clothing, you know, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, and what have you. And then later on, it's the pharmaceutical companies, you
Sure.
know, based on health. It was never about the danger of
They're the ones that are gonna make. They're the ones that are gonna make big, big,
yeah,
big,
big money.
big, big.
But look at the numbers. But we have to make sure, and I always like to talk about this when I'm talking to business persons, and I know that I'm preaching to the choir here, but for those who are listening, the black and brown community has been severely over years affected by this issue. There's so many brothers and sisters who had their lives ruined on something now that is going to be legal. And to have those who have not suffered to come into the community and set up shop and make money off of those same people, there's something that has to be, we cannot let that happen. That has to be something, as you both have said, that we have to stay on top of. We have to do training, we have to do education, and we have to make sure that the green rush does not overlook those who have suffered the most. And that's the communication. We have a whole new uh,
Yeah.
form of elected officials coming in, and that, you know, when they start doing their sound bites, we have to make a demand. What are you going to do about this?
Yeah. And
And what
we have to act quickly because things move very, they move slow and then they move very quickly.
right.
That's what tends to happen. Then before you know it, it's done, and and you're not
And
included.
you're out. You know,
And you're
just like
out.
what we're talking about this
Yeah.
grant program.
Mhm.
I mean, hopefully people are watching. I want you to, again, I have to reach your office to try to get your schedule for next week. This is not something that's going to be around for a minute because, as you said,
No,
it's,
it's not.
it's a drop in the bucket. It sounds like a lot of money to me, you know, but when you look at all of the people who are suffering, business owners who have been put into so many difficult situations, this is, you know, not a lot, and it's going to go fast,
Gonna
Yeah,
go quick.
it's
Yeah.
gonna go.
very fast. Free money.
It's gonna go very, very quickly. So one of the things that we, as the New York Women's Chamber is planning to do is ask, and that's why it's important to have organizations working with the state, where we can then ask also for reports as we move along to see how many, black and brown, businesses have applied, because that's important. Just, we need to know that as the program moves along so that we don't want to know at the end of when the money's already gone. We need to know whether money's still there, whether this money's still there, how our, how our entrepreneurs, how our women and minority entrepreneurs are doing in terms of, the money that's being
hmm
Mhm.
That's going to be extremely important, and an extremely important reason again to support a Dr. Jenkins Green and the Women's Chamber of Commerce, as I had mentioned, has been quietly helping a number of people in this community quietly, which is, I guess, good and bad. Is good that you just do the work and not try to get in front of all of the cameras, but the downside of that is that
We're too busy.
there's so many people who don't know who you are, don't know
Yeah.
how to get to you, and that's why I was so happy when Princess said, "Well, we should really have Kenya on the show because that workshop that you're going to give can literally save some businesses."
Yes.
And Princess has been saving businesses for a long period of time. Men who cook.
Tony, let me also say this, right? Because we know that many small businesses might be challenged by the technology. And in order to complete this grant, there's lots of documents that they need to upload, and people might find that difficult, which is why the New York Women's Chamber is giving what they call TA, technical assistance. You do not have to complete this grant by yourself. You are not going to be able to do it alone. You can be assigned someone who will take you through the sign-in process, through the upload of the document process. When you do the application, they have many different sort of ways that you can apply different documents. So we want people to know that not only can they get the help, they can get one-on-one help, and they can get this grant by contacting the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce and helping them walk through this grant step by step with someone holding their hand.
So again, the New York nywcc.org is a number that if you're looking at this and you have a small business, even if it's only you,
Yes.
and even if you have been turned down from some of the banks with the PPP, this is something that not only may help you, but you don't have to worry about the repayment of it, which is going to hurt a lot of people somewhere down the line if they don't do what they're supposed to do with the loans that they've taken out. So that's going to be another component that we have to look at. So I was going to ask you, Princess, about the men who cook. What's the story with that?
Men Cooking for Change. Last year would have been our 25th year, but again, due to the pandemic, it was canceled. We're looking at possibly bringing it back on this year in November. We have to see how far the state has says, and the city has says it's open, but whether or not people are comfortable coming to that kind of event, because we are serving food, we are serving drink, and we have to make sure that people are totally comfortable with that.
And have you had Dr. Yana Woodhouse, a guest speaker or part of some of the programs that you have done, especially in finances?
Not yet, but we would love to have her on board. We would love to have Dr. Yana
I'm
join
putting it
us.
out there so that
It's out there, and look, you put it out, and I caught it.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to put her in.
And I have to also make sure that I mention, since I want to eat tonight, my wife is a financial advisor also, Laura Abasantos Rogers. So that's another plug that I'm going to give, and Kenya, I have to make sure that I give you information of female women business owners that I'm going to speak to as it relates to this, so that we can get more of them involved with the Women's Chamber of Commerce, especially with this this opportunity that is presenting itself.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And I will reach you, Lawrence. Lawrence is all over the place.
I go to the mayor of Harlem.
Yeah, I used to say, Lawrence, you must be a secret agent or something, because every time I turn around, I see you.
Yes, he's the mayor. I call him the mayor.
Matter of fact, I have a confession. At one point I said, you need to come over to the tourism board. We need somebody.
he visit, and let me tell you, he knows almost all the businesses.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Especially with female businesses.
Yes. But he knows the restaurants. He knows all of them.
I saw him Saturday. We came together in the Clove for the shop and ship for June 16th. Yeah. He had just been across the street to the Tony's. He's like, have you gone over there? They got some stuff happening. So Ben is all about Harlem, women business owners, and women, and the men and women of Harlem who own a business. Everybody knows Lawrence Ben Miles in the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce because of him. He makes sure that he stamps your name on everything. We love Lawrence for that.
And one of the things, Prince, is, again, this is personal because we are family. As you can see, your husband, who's a barber, helped me get a new look.
I
So
like it, Tony, a lot.
I'm not going to see him as much, but please, I know that you're going to share with him this information, because every time we talk, he says, what did you talk about this time? And then, what about us? What about us? What about
right. I love it.
So this grant thing, I know when I see him, because I have to give some updates on how I'm doing, he's going to ask me, why didn't you tell him about me? And I said, well, I mean, you guys kind of
we're sort of like a package deal anyway.
Yes, very much so.
We're talking to him. It's all good, Tony.
But again, it's just always a pleasure to talk to you two as it relates to the things that you are doing. And unfortunately, there's so many people who need to have this information. That's why I, again, give a shout out to Matt McCoy and Pat Stevens, which is another interesting thing. She's the vice president now of Women in the Black, one of the key people there. So that's great. And
we're happy to have Pat Stevens on board as my new
Great
VP,
choice.
And Lil.
And I think it must be a lucky charm, because since she got involved with a few things that have been happening, she's doing her audit now, and she got her a nice, piece of government money with the help, as she was saying, it wasn't happening, and she made some calls, and you guys worked together, and which is the thing that is the most important thing. Obviously, these grants, whether it's MWBE, all of these things are important, but you have to have a network.
Sure.
Yes.
You have to have a network, because you cannot do this without having a network. You cannot do it correctly or successfely, because you cannot always be an advocate for yourself.
You're absolutely right. I always, tell people, and I told my kids this all the time, is your network is your net worth. That's really your net worth, because money comes and go, opportunities, but you can always go back to your network for opportunities, for help, for mentoring, for connections. So you have to develop your network. Without that, you can only go but so far.
And Kenya, how did you find yourself being a leader of the Women's Chamber of Commerce? I mean, what was your motivating force to take this, role?
I know, especially when you think, I have 3 boys and a grandson. How did that happen? Right? Yeah, my little one used to say to me, "What about me, Mom? What about the boys?" But so Tony, it happened because my past life, as I said, I used to head up the Women's Business Center in the Bronx, and then later on in Queens. And one of the things that I would women was to go and join, business associations, chambers of commerce. And I really thought that that we had a New York Women's Chamber of Commerce because other state had it before we did. And I used to say, go and join, and they will come back and say, it's just a lot of men. At that time, it's just men there. We just don't feel comfortable. And I would say, well, go to the women's chamber. And they will come back and say, there's no women's chamber here in New York. And I said, well, let's just start one, right? That's what you do in New York, especially in New York City. You don't find something, you start one, So that's how we started the New York Women's Chamber. And it was just a small group, and it was supposed to be for networking only, really. And then it developed into what it is today, just because women wanted the New York Women's Chamber to offer more than networking and provide assistance. And that's, we responded to their needs, and here we are.
Well, again, you are commended, and Princess and Kanya, please give the listeners, we have a couple more minutes, all of the contact information that's necessary.
God damn it. The phone went out.
Well, you go first.
Yes,
How website, phone
yes.
number?
So make sure one of the things is, of course, I want to invite all of our women business owners again to join us on Saturday at the Women in the Black, who is the boss, conference. And make sure that you attend. There's going to be a lot of information, including the seminar that we're doing. We're going to walk you through the grant application and everything you need to apply to the 800 million dollars of grant money that is available through the state. So I see the Women in the Black .org website up on the screen. Make sure that you check, that you register if you haven't, and make sure that you join us on Saturday. And also, if you're not a member of the New York Women's Chamber, please become one. You can go to our website at nywcc.org and just fill out a form, an application. Our membership is very affordable, and we love to have you as a member. And you can always use our services. A lot of our services are available to you at no cost as a women entrepreneurs or minority entrepreneur. But we have certain things that are just for our members that we call VIP. Services and networking events that are just for our members, and we want to make sure that you're included.
Well, again, I think we might have lost Princess. I'm not sure what happened to her, but for those who are coming in, one of the things that we're talking about is the Women in the Black conference that's going to take place this Saturday. And if you go to uh, .org, you can register. The registration is free. It's between it's going to half a day, I believe, it's between 9 and
And
2.
2 o'clock.
And there's going to be a lot of guests that will provide information, especially as it relates to technology and other things that you should be aware of. But if you can't do the entire event between 1 and 2, Kenya will lead with the Women's Chamber of Commerce information as it relates to what you need to do in order to apply for this new grant program that's introduced by the state. And that uh, is worth an hour of your time to, to at least know what the situation is. And hopefully you're a member of it. And then once you've done it, to obtain the technical assistance. You don't fear because, again, all this is online, and I know a lot of people are challenged, but um, there will be technical assistance given to you and help that will be given to you. And if you even, I suppose, I don't think it's out of step to say, even if you have to go to the Harlem office of the Women's Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We are open. We have been open since last June, as a matter of fact, and we are seeing people. So just give us a call, and we can set up an appointment. But we're happy to help. Even if it's just to, scan your documents to be
And
uploaded.
other,
I know that some people are having some challenges with that.
mhm.
Just let us know. We are here to assist you.
Okay, so again, thank you very much, Kenya Vu, president of the Harlem, uh, the Women's Chamber of Commerce, located in Harlem. And we had Princess Jenkins. I hope everything is okay on her end. Uh, and she's, of course, the Brownstone and also the Women in the Black organization that's going to have a major conference, Women in the Black.org, this Saturday. One that you would want to, whether you are male or female.
Yes.
And thank you so much. I will also reach out to you to try to get your schedule for a pre-recording of some of the things that we said that will go on the WACR 90.3 FM station. It's going to be on Monday. So I'll try to reach you, either you or Lawrence, to try to get your schedule because this information is so important. We want to make sure that we get as many people aware of it as possible.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'll be happy to come on your radio show as well. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Tony.
Well, thank you again. My shout out to my good buddy Matt McCoy for giving us this forum. This is Tony Rogers. Again, hopefully you'll go out to vote. It's going to be a very interesting uh, time, even though I predict that we will not know who the mayor is until July. But nevertheless, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see how it goes. And even when we find out, there probably will be a fight. So listen, even if you win the election, you might not have lost. So,
Yeah,
that's an unfortunate, dangerous situation, but I'm sure we'll get through it. Thank you, Kenya.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much. And Princess, thank you. I have to give you a text. Hopefully everything is fine. And thank Matt McCoy for this opportunity. This is Tony Rogers from Urbanology Systems signing off. And we'll see you next week. Take care.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Urbanology.